What I'd like to do now is introduce Bill Moore, rather than go through anything further. Introduce Bill Moore, and Bill will speak about the D3 opportunity. Yep. Bill?
I've never really needed one of these mics before, but as long as it's here, I might as well use it. So had to put my old man glasses on before I could see where my presentation was. My name is Bill Moore, and I have coached college hockey and college soccer, as well as high school hockey and high school soccer. 32 total years for hockey, and after 11 years of soccer, my wife said, choose one or the other, or me. And so I chose, and living in Minnesota, you know that the way to secure your teaching job in the high school is to coach hockey. So I chose hockey, and we've been on that level for a long time. I am also a graduate of St. Mary's, so it's nice to go back and work at my alma mater. And I was retired, they retired me in May. And so I took a job as a sales rep for CCM and Under Armour, Warrior, and Adidas. So it's been a huge change, but I will forever cherish my times coaching and being with the kids. So I really feel though when I'm giving this speech I can be totally objective now, because I'm not trying to recruit you to St. Mary's anymore. I can tell you what you need to hear, and some of it you're not going to want to hear, but it's out there and it's the truth, and it's things that you're going to need to know. Well, as he's trying to fix it, one of the things that each and every one of you guys, how many in here are going to be juniors? Seniors? Sophomores? Freshmen? Cool. Well, one of the things I'm going to try to tell each and every one of you is there's different things that you can do in your preparation at different times of your careers. For example, how many here would absolutely love to play Division I hockey? I mean, it's everybody's dream, right? That's what we all work for. That's what we do when we're starting out. We all hope that we can get a scholarship and go on and put on the uniform. Hopefully in a couple of years, it'll be the University of Illinois playing Division I hockey. That'd be awesome if they get into the Big Ten for hockey. But one of the things you're going to need to do is prepare. And the first thing to preparing is knowing what your options are. As you get ready to do what you need to do for hockey, you know that there's Division I hockey out there that we're all looking at. These are the different conferences throughout the United States that have Division I hockey in their athletic departments. And as you look, there's the number of teams that each of the different conferences have. Now, I know that you guys are done with school for the day, but we're going to do a little math here. If you've got 60 teams, and you've got an average of 25 guys on a team, how many players are going to make Division I hockey? 60 times 20 is 1,200. 5 times 60 is... There we go. So we got a little more than 1,500 kids playing Division I hockey, right? Well, the problem with that number is that almost 30% of that 1,500 are not Americans. They're either Canadians or Europeans, whatever the case may be. So you're really looking at about 1,000 U.S. kids playing Division I hockey. Well, now you take that 1,000 kids and you divide it by 4, because you've got freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. So now that number is about 250 a class. There's an awful lot more than 250 kids playing hockey in the United States right now. To tell you the truth, there's more than 250 hockey players, probably awful close to that, in the room. So you have to figure out what you're going to do and how you're going to plan to make sure that you have the opportunities that are necessary. First, Let's look at the scholarships that are available throughout the NCAA. You'll notice baseball gets 11.7, basketball gets 13, football gets 85, ice hockey 18. But didn't I just tell you that the average roster was 25? So only 18 of those guys are getting scholarships? Depends on the situation. Just because they got a scholarship doesn't mean they're getting a full ride. So let's say I'm a coach, and I got two guys, and I want both of them, and I know I'm going to have to offer them scholarship money. I can offer each one 50%, and now those two guys equal one scholarship. Everybody cool with that? Well, let's think about that. How can you make yourself more marketable in that situation? What's your name? Jack? Let's say Jack and I are going for a D1 job. And we're both pretty similar in our play. Both same position. Coach has to make a decision, right? The difference is Jack's a 3.9 and I'm a 3.4. Nothing to sneeze at, decent grade point average. But guess what the coach is going to get with Jack that he's probably not going to get with me? Academic scholarship money. So let's say that Jack gets 50% from the coach and he gets another 30% academic. Now he's got 80% scholarship, right? You happy with that? Absolutely. Absolutely. And the coach is really happy about it because he didn't have to spend 30% of another scholarship on Jack. Yet me, I'm going to go home, even though I have a decent grade point average, because I'm not going to get the academic money that Jack had. Now realize something. If I'm better than Jack, it doesn't matter. They're going to give it to me. If Jack's better than me, they're going to give it to him no matter what. But they all work under budgets. And they can only give 18 scholarships. So they work it out in the best way. So the better you can do in the classroom, the more opportunities you give yourself. And I'll show you that in a little bit. Look at the next slide, and that's going to be the scholarships that are available for women. Okay, men, women. What do you notice? Anybody think there's more scholarships for women than there are men? There are not. They're exactly the same. So I heard it. That F word. One thing you're not going to get your mouth washed out with soap for. And that's football. Football has 85 scholarships. So the women have to make it up. They don't have a sport that has 85 kids in it. So they've got to make it up by offering more sports. And that's the opportunity situation. In my opinion, again, not fact, my opinion, it is easier for a woman to get a scholarship than a man. Because there's more sports that they can play. There's less sports that the guys are, unless you're a football player. If you're a football player, sure, you can get one of those 85 scholarships. I was a soccer player. Did those 85 scholarships they had for football help me as a soccer player? No. So they do have some opportunities there, and well deserved. Now let's go back here for a second. Look at the bottom. If 60 teams have 18 scholarships, that's 1,080 total scholarships per year. Okay? And again, I put the word but in there. Why did I say but? Because some of those, 30% of those are going to go to Canadians and Europeans. Then you take the U.S. players and you look at the fact that they've got to divide into 4 classes again, and you're only talking about 270 scholarships per year, of which, again, 30% go to foreign players. You need to be special. And whether it's special as a skill or special at academics that will help you with the skill, you need to do something beyond just being a great player. Because you know what? There are many, many great players. And those of us that spend a lot of time recruiting, one of the things that you're going to talk to, if you talk to a coach long enough, he's going to tell you. You go out and watch, and after 8 games, they all look the same. It's really, really difficult to differentiate between players because nobody differentiates themselves between their teammates. So I'll give you a few hints that I would do if I were you. But there are a ton of D3 options, as we saw. Again, the conferences, the number of teams per conference. Right now we're sitting with 91. After this year it'll be 94. And it keeps growing. What's the greatest myth in college hockey? The greatest myth is that there's no scholarships at the D3 level. I'll bet in my, let's just take last year's team. I had 30 on the roster because the admissions office told me I had to have 30. You know how many had scholarships? Take a guess. How many had scholarships out of those 30 students? 30? Now, it doesn't mean they all had full rides by any means, but they had scholarships. And part of the reason they all had scholarships is because I recruited good students. So how do we look at things? Here's some examples of how scholarships work at the D3 level. Every scholarship opportunity is going to be changed and it's going to be different based on each school. But every school is going to have some component of a grade point average and some component of an ACT score or an SAT score. This was a scholarship level that I had at St. Mary's. Last year, if I was doing this presentation, I couldn't tell you that because it would have been an NCAA violation. But I could violate every NCAA rule in the world now because I'm not coaching anymore. So, you look at the top scholarship of $24,000. And just to give you some perspective on it, at St. Mary's, our tuition, room and board, books, everything was $46,000. So right off the bat, if you've got a 3.9 and a 27, you got more than half paid for it and you haven't even applied for federal money yet. That's just school money. At the 3.75 level, you're down to $23,000. 3.0, $20,000. 2.75, if you can get in, you're still going to get 18. Now, I know you guys in here get sick of your mom and dad telling you, go do your homework. Go get your grades up. You got to do better in school. I'm going to tell you right now, in my 32 years in education, every hour you spend studying and doing better in this classroom is going to be thousands and thousands of dollars in your pocket. For example, any of you guys seniors? The most expensive thing you guys can do is take senior slide. Let's say that your GPA is a 3.7 and you have just the best spring semester ever because you're out partying, you're having fun, but you don't do much work because you're a senior and you're already been accepted for school. But you know what? You're not accepted until the final transcripts come. You're accepted conditionally until the final transcripts come. Now, if you go down 1/10 of a point, you're talking about $1,000. What I tell kids right now is every 1/10 of a point you can get your grades up, it's $1,000. Every point you can raise your ACT is $1,000. So let's picture this. You guys are driving down I-90, and you got this wad of 20s, 50 20s in your hand. You take senior slide, just stick them out the window and let them blow out of your hand because that's what's happening. Although they probably won't blow out of your hand because you're probably going to be stopped and go parking with the traffic you guys have here. It's crazy. But you guys are just giving money away if you take away senior slide. Now, what if you didn't do quite as well in school as you had hoped, or as your parents had hoped? You do have a level to go to college right away, you can go play ACHA. And I agree 100% with Mike. There are some absolutely phenomenal club programs. There are also some very, very crap programs. We used to have a JV. And that JV would play some of the Division I, Big Ten club schools. Well, we won't mention what school, but it was Minnesota State in Mankato. And they came to play our JV, and we could hear the beer cans ringing in their bag. I had to go in and tell the guys to stop shooting after the second period because we were up 13-1. The next day they came over, they were so hungover, they were puking on the benches. That's not a place you want to play club hockey. Yet you go to St. Cloud State, you go to Minnesota, you go to Wisconsin, they take it serious. And they have some great programs. How do you think Arizona State got to be in an NCAA Division I situation? How do you think Penn State got to be a Division I? Because they took it serious. And there are a whole bunch of kids schools that'll take it serious. So, again, I'm not going to tell you much about club hockey because that's Craig's area, but I'm just telling you there are some very, very good club programs. Again, I'm not going to get a ton into this, but you got to know, if you have the opportunity, there's Tier 1 hockey. The only thing I'm going to tell you about Tier 1 hockey is it's USHL. It's the only Tier 1 team in the United States, and they pay for everything. They pay for your hockey, they pay for your equipment, they pay for your billet families, they pay for everything. The next level is Tier 2, and basically the North American League does the same thing, except you pay for your billet families. You pay a monthly amount to your billet families to live there. And then Tier 3, you pay for everything. Usually $500 to $7,500 plus billet fees, so total maybe $8,500 to $11,000, something like that. What can you do as a player? Number one, let's take the seniors first. Are there any seniors in here that have not done as well as they would have liked? I'm sure there is. I'm going to tell you guys, go play juniors. And parents are going to say, it's expensive. I don't know if I want to play juniors. You know what? If they didn't do well in high school, they could play junior hockey, take 1 or 2 college classes, and they can get, if you're taking 1 class at a time, think you can get an A? I hope so. Because if you can't, or at least a B, you're going to struggle when you have 5 or 6 classes. Now you get an A. Second semester, you take another class, you get an A. Next semester, you take another one, you get an A. Second year in juniors, you maybe didn't do quite as well, you got a B. Now, you don't go in as a high school student with low grades. You go in as a transfer student with a 3.75 GPA. And now, what's your scholarship money going to be based on? 3.75 transfer. So if you didn't do as well, there's options out there for you. And I will tell you, the scholarship money can be much more than what you're going to pay for junior hockey. The other thing, and I'm telling you this just as a coach, I didn't even look at 18-year-old seniors. One, I didn't want to deal with that first time being away from home, having that wild hair that I had to deal with. And second of all, a 24-year-old senior is a man. An 18-year-old freshman is meat to that man. And those kids got hurt. So you need to be physically mature as well as mentally mature. So we never looked at anyone that didn't play junior hockey. And that's Division 3. Division 1, every once in a while you can find that special guy that can come straight out of high school, but it doesn't happen very often. Okay? What can you do? First thing I would do, this is a profile that I used to make up for all my high school players. Simple, to the point. Your name, biographical information, academic information, a little bit about your athletic, and then your future goals. Send it out to everyone. Maybe some are interested, maybe some aren't. But if you don't send it out, they won't know you. Get it out there and see what you can find. Common questions that I hear all the time. And this is my absolute pet peeve. Why is my coach not marketing me more? You know what? That's not your coach's job. Your coach's job is to teach you the skills of the game so that you're ready to play at the next level. It's your future. Take the bull by the horns and do it yourself. Nobody cares more about your future than you should. So therefore, you should do the marketing of yourself. Now, I'm not saying coaches can't help you. But don't wait for a coach to do it for you. You need to take the bull by the horns. How do I deal with this and not be distracted? Well, I'm going to tell you, if you're worried about who's up in the stands every night, if there's people coming to watch, you're screwed. Because you're not thinking about your opponent, you're not thinking about playing well. All I'm going to tell you, play hard every single shift. And my pet peeve when I went to watch somebody, you guys all seen that guy that stays out a little too long? And then he goes down and makes a shot and goes back to the bench. And his line mate comes out, or the guy that's replacing him comes out about 8 or 10 seconds later than he should have. Now that guy scores, and who gets the minus? So I used to hate guys that didn't care about their teammates and hustle back to the bench. So little things. You're going to make mistakes. Don't worry about it. It's not about making a mistake. It's about what are you going to do after you make the mistake. If you turn the puck over, are you going to back check your butt off? Next shift, are you going to block a big shot? What are you going to do after that? It's a game of mistakes. You can't worry about making a mistake. It's what you do after you make the mistake that counts. Where do I begin? It's all so overwhelming. Well, the big thing is, if you're a junior right now, if you're sophomore, you don't need to worry about a whole lot of where you want to go yet. If you're a junior, you should have about 10 places in mind. By senior year, narrow it down to about 5. And then go visit them all. Don't spend that kind of money without visiting the school. You're going to know when you get there whether it's for you or not. And the last thing you want to do is write a check out for $30,000 or $40,000 and have them hate it, and now all of a sudden they want to come home halfway through. So make sure that you visit. What's the best option for me and my son? The best option for the guys, 1, go somewhere where you're going to be happy. Go somewhere where you're going to be academically successful. Do what you need to do to plan for the rest of your life. Hockey's just a bonus. Hockey's a benefit. But if you don't do the other stuff, you don't deserve to play. Does it help to send coaches video? I would tell you right now, don't do video clips. Absolute waste of time and money. Do you think you're going to send me something with them making a mistake? Send me the whole game. Send me a link that I can go watch the whole game. But don't spend a whole lot of money on doing video clips. That's kind of a waste. Again, my hope for each and every one of you guys is that you have a great career, whatever that career happens to be. If you happen to be one of those players that had a great time playing high school hockey and now you want to move on with life and just go to school, just go to school. If you want to try to make NCAA or a high-level ACHA team, go play juniors. But you know what? There's 3 things that coaches want to see. And the first and absolute foremost is character. If you aren't a good person, you're going to cut off probably 80% of your options. 2, be a good student. And I'm not saying you have to be a 4.0. Do the best that you can do. And then third, and absolutely the most important thing, learn what a work ethic is. At all aspects of your life, whether it's job, whether it's around the house, school, hockey, anything. We had a saying at our house. Hardest working, first on the ice, last off the ice, hardest working. If you can do those things, and you, even seniors, pick up pucks after practice, that says a lot to somebody watching. If you just kick them around and expect the little kids to pick them up, that says a lot about what your character is. It's a team, help everybody out. I'll be around as long as I need to be, but I wish you the best of luck. It was kind of fun. I went and watched St. Rita play last night because there were about 7 kids on the St. Rita team that came to my hockey camp. So I just showed up at the rink and decided to go and see them, but it was fun. It was fun to watch high school hockey again. So good luck. Have a great year.